All
And
right, we are live.
we are live on Kumu and
Hello,
Facebook
people.
and
Everyone.
various channels.
LinkedIn.
Yeah,
Shout out to LinkedIn. Yeah.
Hi.
Hello, hello. To everyone watching on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
let us know that you're there because
LinkedIn
I'm
Live.
so
Yeah.
curious about that. Instagram too, just posting. All right. Hello, welcome everyone watching from wherever you are. We have an exciting interview coming up here with ZAP and the ZAP E-Store. Before we get started, Angelique, can you tell our audience members how they can check out ZAP?
Hi. So I'm Angelique from ZAP. So ZAP, you can find us at www.zap.com.ph, and then zapestore.com, and then on socials at powered by ZAP. So pretty
Oh,
simple.
Paradise.
Nice,
I
great.
was like, looking how to tag you guys on Instagram. I was like, it's okay. I tagged your personal one, but
Yeah.
awesome.
I can
Are we
tag it
ready to
naman
get
pal
in?
when I repost it.
Ayan, ayan. There you
You
go.
did?
But
Okay, I'll check it
The magic
later.
of technology. Okay. Well, everyone, I think shall we begin? All right. Okay, so hello again, everyone watching from wherever you are. This is Hustle Inside the Industry, where we talk to professionals and find out how they got here, why they're doing what they do, and what it takes to do it. We're live here on all Rappler channels, including Kumu, by the way. So if you're streaming us on Kumu, please join in on the conversation. You can send over some questions you have for Angelique and Zap E-Store, or some diamonds if you like what you hear. We always love those. We love those VGs. Tristan, what are some of your favorite VGs that we've
well,
gotten?
the lechon, of course. I mean, I
Oh
think
yeah,
it's foreshadowing that the VGs that we like are like related to food. Anyway, if
ayan,
you're not yet on Kumu, you can
manifest.
download the Kumu app. It's KUMU. And when you do follow Rapper.com, so we spell out the .com. So it's Rapper, DOTCOM.
Awesome. And if you like this video and you want to play it back in podcast form, just follow Hustle Inside the Industry on Spotify or your preferred podcast platform. This episode comes out Monday, December 6th. As always, this is Powie,
And I'm Tristan. We are part of Rapper's Hustle team.
and we love
And
food. But who
yeah.
doesn't?
Yeah, actually, Tawi pansin ko nga, like our episodes, it's really a mix. I mean, I think for the past month at least, it's like a mix of our interests, tech, food, and then it's like
Yan.
the Venn diagram of e-commerce startups that are related. I think that's our monthly
Let's see
theme
if
ba?
let's
One
see if
month
we can
theme.
keep this up. I think this is like Street Fighter. It's like those combos, like those really long
Yeah.
string combos. It's like back to
Wala pang
back
combo
food.
breaker.
Ayun, wala pa eh. Who knows? Next
Hadouken.
episode. Ayun.
Yeah, dude.
There we go. I like that. Okay. But actually, on that note, just a little segue here. By the way, if you like the show, everyone, or even if you don't like the show, but you know a business or you have a friend with an interesting story who might make a good guest, you can also leave those in the comments. We do check those out. But anyway, back to our regular programming. So, for over a year now, practically all of us have been dependent on online stores and delivery to get our food fixes. But who exactly is behind the technology that connects us to these restaurants? Now, one such company is the Zap Group, or Zap, whose new e-store service has powered online order fulfillment for popular food businesses like Vikings, we all know Vikings, and Macau Imperial Tea, and many others, frankly. Here to tell us more about it, we have one of the Zap co-founders, Angelique Uy. So welcome to the show, Angelique. Hello.
Yay!
Hey,
Okay, I'm
Angelique.
gonna applaud myself because we don't have a live audience.
There you go.
It's
Hi!
fine,
Thank
diba?
you. Thanks, guys,
Welcome to
for
the
having me.
studio.
Diba? Parang the best cheerleader is yourself, and at times.
Yes,
Anyway,
Oh,
actually, yes.
this is the it's our new segment, like my words of
and
wisdom.
Tristan's
The
aphorisms.
Inspiration.
Zen. This is what happens when you go on
The
vacation,
Zen of
diba? Like
Tristan.
you, the Zen ang pan. Anyway, so
Okay.
Yay! Thank you guys for having us. Me pala. Pala. Like, thanks for having me. And for
The
thinking of
Zap
that.
group.
Yun.
Yay!
Yeah. So
so welcome to the
actually,
show,
I think
Angelique.
you
Go
you were
ahead.
asking earlier. Sorry, you were asking earlier, like what was ZAP E-Store about? Or
Yeah, sige.
anyway,
That can
so
be our first question.
yeah.
Give us an overview of
Okay,
e-store.
sorry.
What's an e-store exactly?
Yeah.
Yeah. So ZAP actually we started way before like 2013, but it's only like during the pandemic, 2020 I guess, that we made the ZAP e-store. So the e-store is a shop front that we create for our merchants, powered by our partners, Shopify. And then we
Ah,
help the F&B merchants onboard this shop front, or basically it's a website, no, so that their
yeah.
end users or their customers can order directly from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so gets the man. So it's now that you mentioned Shopify, it's pretty customizable, right? So like you're saying that a lot of your clients, like I'm interfacing with their website, but you're the ones helping power it, parang ganun ba?
yeah, so using like the Shopify platform, we actually developed a software or Shopify add-on app that makes like online ordering super easy or super familiar with like customers that are used to like Grab or Panda or
Awesome.
yung mga sanay na sila. So at this time, we with the help of Shopify naman, we have an app, and then yeah, basically merchants don't have to think about like hiring a website developer or those fancy expensive developers. So they just have to get in touch with us, and then we set it up for them. So
Awesome.
in
Ok-
yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much
I think that makes
streamlined all the efforts in having an e-commerce site.
yeah. And I think throughout this interview we're gonna go into all the working parts now
Correct.
because there's
Yeah.
a lot. But that's great. You're actually the perfect kind of spokesperson then, because if your job is to know all parts of the process. But before we get into all of that, first of all, shout out to Cheryl Manansana for the welcome VG. Woo! We got a
And she
VG
sent
on
three,
Kumu.
Tawi. Not just one, but
Three?
three. She sent
Yay!
a
What?
galing
Okay.
VG and a wow VG. So
Wow.
it's a
So
charm.
wait, Tristan, do I have to give two more shout outs now? Is it like a one to one?
I know she
So
sent
shout
another
out to
one.
Cheryl
So
Manansala again, and
times
then shout
four.
out one last time. No, but this is great. Let's dig into your story now, Angelique, before we get into the nitty gritty details.
Sure, sige.
Let's learn more about you, right? Tell us and our audience about your personal background, or rather, how you started your career and how it led to co-founding Zap Group back in 2013.
Yeah, so actually fresh out of college, that was what, '08. I joined an international e-commerce company that was mainly servicing US citizens or US customers. So back then it was pre Zalora, pre Lazada, pre Shopee, like pre e-commerce Philippine setting. But
Wow.
'08, like e-commerce in the US is booming already, right? Think about like mga Amazon,
Yep.
ano pa ba? Like those sites. So
eBay.
yun,
Yeah.
eBay, yeah. So I joined this company where we were selling from our own website promotional material. So not that sexy, but then it was a good experience for me because I joined the marketing team wherein we were actually, you know, like taking a look at the customer behavior in the website. So back then it was like Google Analytics were like booming. So it was the start of Google Analytics. So it was basically um, getting to know who our site visitors were so that we can improve the website for better like browsing and buying experience. So if you put it that in a storefront or a physical store setting, it was like rearranging the seats, the tables, or in the grocery, like how you would line up the
Right.
product and things like that. So
Mm.
that are nitty gritty. Yeah, I was
I
involved
think
in that. So reworking the website, the layout, and things like that. So after 7 years of just doing that, a friend of mine approached me and like, mentioned, "Hey, do you want to start your own business?" Back in 2012, 2013, like the phrase startup wasn't really that known yet, or it's not as popular as now. So we were, I think, one of the pioneers or one of the first new like startup groups back then. Basically, we were just a bunch of kids, thinking that we can change the world, thinking that we could make the retail experience in the Philippines better, with a
Mm-hmm.
dream. So yeah, I quit my work. I might quit my job, and then I decided I wanted to bring that experience of like um, observing customer behavior online, and then if there's a way to do that here in the Philippines with offline interactions, because 90%
Mm-hmm.
of transactions happen in your local cafes, your local restaurants, supermarkets, right? So I wanted a way wherein there's the marketing departments of these brands or big companies locally could be like smarter in such a way that they would target or they would market to their consumers with the consumers in mind, not for
Yes.
marketing sake. You know what I mean? So um, it's still there. So I think the pitch was we wanted to build a software wherein it could be used for the offline world and translate it and make it digitized, like the experience digitized by
Mm-hmm.
offering a rewards platform back then. So ZAP started as a rewards platform wherein we tap, your local milk tea providers, fast food chains, and then basically when you purchase something from these stores offline, you'll get points as as
Mm-hmm.
a loyal customer. Uh, That will keep you hooked to return to these restaurants, and then basically like you earn points, and then you go back, and then you spend those points to purchase things, right? So back then,
Yeah.
I think now it's everywhere. So I would like to think we had a part of it. But then back then, wala kasing ganung concept. I think
Yeah.
the
I mean, that
concept
was
back
like
then
10
was
years
like
ago, basically.
the concept
Uh-huh.
then was like collecting mga parang show cards or like stamps,
Yeah.
diba, or
Yeah.
receipts,
I still do.
and then
Still
you
do.
go,
Yeah.
yeah, and then you manually claim your reward to your
Yeah.
favorite coffee shop, and then diba, you have to prove pa that you're a loyal customer, parang the old manual way. So yeah, so we wanted to change that whole experience, but there. So
Yeah. No,
after
that's great.
that's how we started. So I quit my corporate job to be able to do the same thing I did online to the offline world, and more importantly, locally naman.
Yes.
Yeah, and probably want to contextualize na 2013 at times you think, oh, 2013 that was just like 8 years ago, pero at that time I
When I
remember very
graduated.
clearly this was not the Philippines was not yet like digital friendly. Like wala pang Grab
Mm.
apps, Uber. We didn't have
Yeah,
online
yeah. I
payments
think
much. So this was really
Gcash,
an
not even
innovation at the
close.
time.
Yeah.
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 Gcash was present pero it wasn't used for like payment ngayon na parang ngayon
Yeah.
everyone has Gcash. Like the manong vendor na sorbetero has Gcash. Can you believe that?
Parang
Right.
points
Before.
pa lang
Right.
siya dati eh.
Yeah, dati parang more on like remittance. I think they
Yeah.
use it for remittances and all. So galing,
Kasi
galing.
I remember, yo, go ahead, sorry. Cross
No,
talk
I was just
anyway.
saying like ang nag-evolve na talaga yung Philippine and local market. So we're really glad that we invested our time and technology like way
Yeah.
back then.
Pay it off.
That's what you say, right? When you're in this industry for 8 years now. No, just kidding. But then
It was worth it.
yeah.
Tristan?
Yeah, so yeah, in a way, this was really this was way before the whole digital transformation of basically Philippine entrepreneurship. So, I want to bring things back a bit to what you mentioned earlier that you pivoted your business model amid the pandemic. So I think it's gonna be my question. It's a bit two pronged. So one was this shift. We call it pandemic babies. Was this born of the pandemic, or was this all in the works the whole time, pero it was just like the right opportunity to shift it amidst a
Mhm.
pandemic. And then from that, siguro like we can talk about like how was the experience of pivoting, transforming
Yeah.
your entire business model.
Yeah, sige. So yun nga, like I mentioned, we started 2013, but then we started from parang a loyalty platform program provider, right? So having established that, most of our clients talaga are F&B. And then, grabe, during the pandemic, syempre with all the lockdowns and all the uncertainties, they had to close. A lot of our clients had to cease operations. Diba? In serving dining, that in-store dining and in-store purchases. So, um, I'm sure then a lot of businesses had to pivot during the pandemic. So what we did, actually, it was sort of organic because a lot of our merchants asked us if we could help them onboard them into
Wow.
digital. So
Mm.
we've always naman talaga put our merchants front and center. And then, so what we did, we researched the fastest way to get this started. So yun nga, that's why we chose like a very stable naman na partner, which is Shopify. They've been
Yes,
around for so long, and then
absolutely.
there's not paid advertisement. I should have anyway. So basically, selling reliable kasi, and then the fastest way to create a website, diba? And then from there, we we made sure na lang that we developed an app na on top of that. So I think we've developed the Shopify app in like 3 months. I think it was the fastest development
Wow.
that we had to do because nga, it was during the pandemic. First, we were
Pivot
so
talaga.
um concerned about our merchants kasi we had to stop our loyalty services diba? Kasi syempre no one was coming in their stores. And then second, we're also thinking of our employees, diba? Syempre. So we're
Mhm.
40 winners. We call ourselves winners, ZAP winners. And
Ooh,
then
love it.
all our tech are in house. So we have our own developers. So syempre, when no store, wala kaming clients, we had to think of a way of okay, aside from staying afloat, like we have to give our employees ourselves a chance to survive this pandemic. So we had no choice but to really think of a new product there. So
Mm,
luckily, um, yeah, we were able to develop the Shopify add-on quickly, and then um, it made sense because now our former like in-store customers, restaurants, F&B clients, now we were able to help them sell online like in less than 7 days. Tapos help their
wow.
customers pick out like mga order schedule if the customers want to pick up their order or to pick a delivery date instead, mga ganon. And then
Mhm.
um yung payment kasi at that time, 'di ba, usong-uso yung first batch of the pandemic, usong-uso ngayon yung
Season
Viber,
1.
parang you order sa
Yeah.
mga
Mm.
restaurants through Viber, ganon. Mas mahirap yung communication eh, 'di ba? Parang
Yeah,
the orders get
it's very
messed up.
manual.
Yeah, it's very manual, ang messy. So yun, at least with a proper shop front, like nabawasan yung mga tanong ng through Viber and
Good,
through mga
good.
social, mga messenger. So everything, this menu, everything, information, everything's displayed on the website. And then in terms of security naman, payments, yun, di ba, ang dami rin na scam. You'll hear
Mm.
businesses getting scammed by customers receiving mga fake pala na screenshots of their payments made, yung pala nag-send ng deposit slip pero na nabayad na yung order pero yung pala Photoshop, yung mga ganon. So at
Wow.
least with the ZAP E-Store, customers feel safe and secure kasi everything's done online and may payment channels are like credit card and then may GCash na online and then bank
Yeah.
deposits na online na everything's secured and for the merchant's end, um, it's being like the payments are handled by the proper payment gateways. So you know na if it's marked as paid, the customer really, paid for the
Mhm.
order. So
Mm.
less fraud. Mga ganon.
Yeah. And I think
Yep.
that's definitely. I'm glad that you mentioned that because that's definitely a feature, of the business. Tristan.
I was gonna say lang na I think that's one thing that people often don't realize na okay, they might say, okay, you just have to verify it. But let's if you multiply the amount of verification, messaging that happens in one day, it's hard to keep track. So
Yeah.
I think
Correct.
yeah,
Oo.
Yeah. It
And then
is. It is much safer. Yeah.
and super sayang the time of the seller or the business, right? Like rather than focusing on cooking if you're good at that, diba? Or focusing on preparing the food and the kitchen, you spend more time worrying about admin processes that easily
Yeah.
could be handled like automated, diba?
Wow.
So yun, that's where we came
Digital
in talaga.
transformation. Well, no, I wanted to dig into that a bit more. Although you did answer the question quite comprehensively, which is nice. I was just curious, right, on the more technical side of things, and I know that your app is built on top of another app, so maybe that makes things a little easier and a little more automatic. But I was just curious, on a technical level, like what was the process like of vertically integrating, from like what was originally you were almost like a bonus service for food businesses to becoming like, the core of their online operations or helping form the core of their operations. So, what would you say were your advantages into making this pivot, maybe compared to other businesses that had to start from scratch, and what were the challenges also?
I think no, great question. I think really it was about asking our merchants, really having that engagement with the merchants and asking them what they needed. And then they were very transparent. And then most of our merchants demand they had no choice but to sign up with your third party marketplaces like
Mm,
your Grab Food, your Food Panda,
mhm.
diba, or your Picaroo. So we have no problem. Like we're telling them go ahead and sign up with those marketplaces. But I think what we were pushing for is as a brand, as a business, you have to own your own domain. You have to have your own sales channel that is purely yours, your own brand.com. So when we were pitching this idea to them, we were telling them that how many like of the perks that they could experience, I guess. So aside from not paying like fees to these third party marketplaces, because when you list in these Grab Food, Food Panda, you pay a fee, diba, as a restaurant. So for every order, these third party marketplaces, they take a cut out of every order. Yeah, you notice sometimes the price of the food in the listed in these apps are parang mas it's more expensive versus the restaurant
Yeah,
versus the
because
one
of the
listed for
commission,
restaurants.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, because of the commissions that these pero syempre, 'di ba, everyone has to make money. But then that's the result na parang it's really
Yeah.
tumataas the presyo because of that. So, yun, for one, we tell the merchants na when you have your own website, you can price your product the way you want it to, no added fees that
Cool.
you can tell your customers, diba? That your customers can enjoy. So aside from no added fees, parang you'll also get a lot of savings na. And then these savings, you pass it on na lang to your customers. So instead of adding price, you can slash off price actually, diba? So
Cool.
first
Yeah.
timer discount, free shipping, what have you. So the margins, it's more tweakable. You can work around with the margins, yun, ganon. And then promotions, we know kasi talaga when you're with we sign up for when you grab food or like food panda. Syempre they have a lot of merchants to work with. So syempre for some reason you're kahit ano sige mo, you're not prioritized as a business. You
Yes,
have
correct.
tila marami kang competition. Pero when you have your own website, your own domain, ikaw talaga yon. Like you have you're front and center, 'di ba? So wala kang ibang competition. So you own the whole domain. So you can do all promotions, any promotions. No, you don't have to wait for anyone's approval or like timeline. So you work
Yeah.
with your own timeline. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
from what I gather here, sorry, go ahead.
no,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead. Yeah.
Angeli. Yeah. Now, I was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
gonna
I was
comment
wrapping up
that.
lang. Go.
Yeah, I was just gonna comment na like from what I gather from what you just said, it's like with this greater customizability, it's also like greater. It's also a greater exercise in your ownership. Like you
Mm,
get
yeah.
to
Yeah.
really. It's basically
Yeah, oo.
adapting the power you have offline rin. Kasi like, di ba, if you're managing a store, okay, I'll do this, I'll do that. But then we have to realize that if you go online and then like you partner then with like these
Hmm.
aggregators, you don't get to exercise the same freedom. But like
Correct, correct.
through service, it's really like translating the aspect of owning a business to online
Yeah.
rin.
Yeah.
You're right, yes, correct. Yeah, because really, in essence, the e-store is your own online store. Like, and then the electronic
Yeah.
store is your online store,
You're
yeah.
like in a mall.
So,
Maybe an analogy is like if you're in a big mall, let's say like like that's the same as being like in a food panda or a grab. Na you're
yeah,
like in an SM or Ayala, like a mega
Ay,
mall
so nga.
type size thing, no. But now, so you're saying, I guess Angelique is like, you're you're the building itself. Na. You're
yeah, you're an
like a Capitolio
independent
joint,
store, ganon. Yeah,
maginhawa
yeah,
food joint.
ganon. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, di ba, like, I'm not saying it's a 100%, that's all you have to do to succeed. No, like,
Yeah.
what we're saying is it's imperative to have your own, and then it's up to you to join the others. But at least you have something of your own to focus on, di ba?
Yeah, they're not
To call
mutually
your
exclusive.
own.
I mean, I'm sure your clients are all on those marketplaces as well, naman. So
Yeah,
it's
oh,
just
oh, oh, oh.
the customers have an
It's
option, diba?
correct, correct. At least give them an option. So it's actually more, we're helping them create more sales channels basically. So um, di ba ang hirap ngayon eh, it's hard to reach customers now. So you reach them wherever you can.
Hmm. Tristan?
Will be yeah. So actually we're gonna dive deeper into your like business model, into your operations. But I wanna like do a quick pivot before we go into that. So I wanna also ask, so you mentioned earlier that you've been in the business for like almost 10 years. You have a substantial team. You have around 40 winners. You said your tech is also in-house. So in terms of digital transformation, I want to also ask, how did you transform internally? Because I'm sure it was hard na nga to adapt to this changing landscape, but also internally you also had to kind of digitally transform your operation. So maybe you can talk about how the transition was into moving into remote work, basically adapting to the pandemic economy internally.
Yeah, I think everyone was to start noong 2020, like everyone was at the standstill, lalo na nung mga March, like everyone was on pause. I'm sure kayo rin. So parang honestly, as business owners, like we were at a loss because we were waiting for government announcements on what, diba, ano yung pwedeng
Hmm.
gawin, and then ano yung like what's right, what can be permitted and all. So but luckily, since we're a tech company, everything actually can be done remotely. So the hard part was just physically taking like I like my laptops and screens in the office and then assigning them to everyone at home and on, and then arranging like just regular checkups between teams. So in a way, um and then the sales meetings with merchants, it was a bit tricky at first because syempre the merchants naman weren't really savvy in Zoom back then or in diba? Like we really went to their offices for meetings pre-pandemic, so it was a bit hard
Used to
to,
do face to
well,
face now with the client, with the
yeah,
merchants.
kasi we had
Mm.
demos, parang we had physical demos, like so that they would see the text. But yun, we had to quickly create na lang like videos siguro to show and to share in times of as a sales pitch ganon, and then um honestly it wasn't that hard of a switch to a remote working kasi nga luckily for us we were in tech, but then I think the hardest would just be maintaining the like cadence of meeting regularly because everyone had like Zoom fatigue or everyone has online meetings fatigue. So yeah, I think it was pretty straightforward in transitioning to a
Yeah.
remote work.
I think Tristan, I think it was similar to us naman. I mean, we're seeing the trending sentiment is, the with at least the tech first companies that were already tech to begin with, it was a more seamless transition. But you know, everyone still had their challenges, of course. But anyway, so that's your people operation. We wanted to also go into your financial model, your revenue. How do you make money, basically? You did compare yourselves with, say, like a marketplace, and then we talked about how marketplaces make their money on commission. But I believe you have a different model. Can you tell our audience how an app, I don't know if app is the right word, sorry, how a software or a platform like
It is
yourselves
an app, yeah. It's
makes
an
their money?
application. Oh,
Yeah.
you make a great salesperson, Apawi. We're hiring, by the way. So, like, that was a
Wow.
great,
Wow. Tristan,
that was a great pitch.
it's been a good
Bye.
run.
So,
Sige,
no,
ito na
you're
pala
good at
season
this.
finale natin.
Ito lang, despedida ko. Bring out the
Yeah.
You're
drinks.
good at this.
Okay, anyway.
But basically, yes, that was correct. So we don't charge any commission fees. So our pricing is pretty much straightforward. You can check it out then sa ZAP E-Store.com. But we charge on a monthly basis, on a per store um uh basis. So
Oh, per store. Okay.
per store siya kasi it's a per install thing. So per install we count it as one, and then usually one install is corresponding to one branch or one store, one fulfillment store. So roughly, to just give you an idea, it's super cheap to start with us. You get a free FRE cap free website if you sign up with us for a year. It's only
Mm,
3,500 a month.
yeah.
It could go lower with the number of fulfillment centers or fulfillment stores that you sign up with us, and depending on the duration of your subscription. So yeah, we just charge per subscription. Super super cheap.
Cool.
It's just like how many Starbucks drinks of of Tristan. Super cheap lang.
That's your
That's
unit of
around ano lang,
measurement.
that's around
How many?
10 or
So,
15. Sorry, that's just an estimate. If I
question, is this a tall or a
Yeah,
venti?
venti, sorry. I was
Yeah.
calculating if it was a venti.
Tristan is he's a high roller, high caffeine consumer. That's why. Anyway,
Yeah, Tawi knows.
Yeah, I saw it earlier. And
uh, yeah, Tristan.
yeah, so we just
Oh.
really made it a point na it's not masakit sa merchant's pocket. So, yun nga, kasi nga pandemic na nga, and then we didn't want to hurt them anymore, di ba? And then, for us, we really just, I guess, wanted a more seamless way of, ordering during the pandemic. Actually, mas
Mhm.
selfish eh. Mas selfish. I have to admit, medyo selfish effort siya. Because I like trying out new things, right? Personally, I like knowing what's good out there, what's a new restaurant, di ba? What's a good deal. So I like trying out new things. So it really pains me when like a nice restaurant doesn't have a seamless way to order. Like
Yes,
the
Yeah.
tendency, I just don't order na lang from them.
totally get it. That's a
Yeah,
barrier.
actually, ano yun eh. I think parang ang anecdote dyan, it's like, we know many, kasi ako, I personally like visiting yung mga very hole in the walls, very small, mom and
Tristan lives
pop,
in Poblacion,
MC,
so
yeah. So it's like,
Ooh.
I know it's
yeah, it's
harder for
still
like
fun.
those kinds of restaurants to transition, especially early in the pandemic. So I won't name names, pero like I also studied in UP, so yung maginhawa, I can name a lot of restaurants sa
Oh
parang up to now yata are still like doing the Viber model. I don't know. Kaya parang
no!
parang
Wow.
sayang.
Yeah, they're missing out on sales, diba? Kasi syempre with an online store or an online platform, like it's easier to, I guess, market, diba? So you can just say, hey guys, just check out this URL. Here's everything, like the menu, the pricing.
That's it.
But you
It's
don't,
not numbers.
yeah,
You don't need to put number 0917, whatever,
yeah.
and then you have to save it to your contacts bar or whatever.
Mm-mm. And
Uh,
then you can dictate pa when you want to have this delivered, yung ganon, and like, and then
cool.
where, diba? Or you can also do it for gifting, diba?
Yeah.
So mas
Yeah.
Yeah.
mabilis
So
consumer wise.
So Angelique, speaking of like you mentioned your market observations, seeing what's changing basically in F&B behavior this pandemic. So have you seen any particular trends in the Philippine e-commerce scene once the e-commerce scene since you stepped into it? So parang ano ba, are you adapting any of it, etc.? Anything
Actually,
interesting?
finally, pandemic. more and more businesses are actually online na. So like what you mentioned, like the small merchants, mga hole in the wall, even the mga home bakers, ang dami na. So I was actually happy at least may progress in terms of adoption. Even yung mga, meron akong favorite bakery, finally, yun, may website na sila that I can order, regularly. But then at the same time, even big companies like multi-chain, they realize the importance of having a centralized online store so that each
Mhm.
the branches can just get the orders directly to the sa mga stores nila, and then they can fulfill directly. So there's no need for a middle person. Usually kasi parang may call center ata. Like yung old school talaga, like there's a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hotline, diba, who gets the orders, and then okay, yung based on the location, the order gets passed to the nearest branch that they have. So medyo old school. So at least with our solution, medyo straightforward, wala nang middleman. So order online, then the store gets it, and then they fulfill it. So yung isang nakita ko na trend would be yeah, dumadami na. And then second would be they're adopting into this parang the Shopee and then the Lazada culture. You know that? Yung mga payday
Okay.
sale, yung mga 10-10, 9-9, 11-11, Black Friday, yung mga traditional retailers,
Like the F&B,
e-commerce,
the F&B
na,
businesses are also doing it.
yeah,
Oh,
oo. So, na-adopt
wow.
na sa F&B. So, like, kunya, like, when you check your Grab, parang lagi ka may announcement during payday, di ba? Like,
Oh yeah.
sweldo savers, or something like that.
Yeah,
Sulit
yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yung
din.
right.
mga ganon. Yeah, di ba? Sulit,
It's smart.
ganyan. So, they really want your money. Basically, ganun. So, since malls usually, yung dating, di ba, when it's payday usually, oh, let's go to the mall, let's hang out in the mall, di ba? Let's celebrate in the mall. Since malls are closed, di ba, or limited, it happens na online. And then since
Mhm.
people really just want to eat or celebrate, people order for celebrations na lang online. So, yun yung
Yeah.
next observation ko. Like, the restaurants actually create new products and that are only found online, like maybe these platters. Diba? You've noticed everyone na lang suddenly has party platters and
Yeah,
um, for
smart. Yeah.
gifting na mga nakaano. So, yun, nag-evolve din yung mga F&B merchants natin, which is good, diba? Kasi they're listening to the demand. And then last
Yeah.
would be like innovation in terms of products. So merchants actually create mga pantry friendly products. So suddenly, like kunyari, sikat the vinegar of this restaurant. Now they bottle the vinegar and then they
Oh,
sell it
you're
at retail.
right.
Chicken
Yeah.
oil.
Right? And
Yeah.
yung
Mga
sausage,
Chicken
content.
oil.
the chicken oil,
Mang
or like
inasal.
their fancy iced teas, diba? So
It's
so these
true.
merchants,
Wow.
these F&B restaurants actually learn because they need to they really need a way to supplement
That's
the
smart.
operation. So
Yeah.
what are products that they can sell 24/7 and not relying on kitchen service. So yun.
Mhm.
So good to see these mga frozen products, diba? Kung you're barbecue,
Yeah.
like just buy them prepared.
Yeah.
So galing
I
Um.
din.
want
Very exciting.
Yeah, I want to tie things back real quick lang na I think again nga, one of the USP, sorry, USP, I'm the one doing jargon here, but one of the
Unique
one of your
selling
basic selling points, yeah,
propositions.
of Zap is really the
Points.
customizability. So you mentioned a while ago na shops are now adapting yung mga Black Friday, different
Mm-hmm.
um basic consumer holidays, they call them holidays or events. And I think right now that's connecting things to the customizability of Zap. If you avail of the service, ikaw rin, you can set your own basically promos. Kasi in the
Yeah,
past, like
makes
you
it a
Correct.
have to
lot
be
Oo.
reliant on
faster.
the market trends, diba? You have to be reliant on the
Oo.
market events. But like if you have your own service like this, you can dictate rin when you want to basically do your own pakulo. Yun ang napansin ko
Correct.
rin.
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
that's what we do then as a side. I know we're like software. Technically, we're an application like a software
Mhm.
provider, but that's not sexy, eh, diba? So actually, we go beyond pa, and we have tell them, advise them on what campaigns they can join, what promos they can
Mm,
run, yung mga ganun. So we help them customize promotions, marketing events, for their
yeah.
e-store. Yun, para ma-maximize talaga yung online presence. So aside from
Yeah.
yung Black Friday, yung mga payday sale, ganon. So like yung Thanksgiving, may pa Thanksgiving na rin sa Philippines. Suddenly, sige, let's go, diba? So yung mga Cyber Monday sales, ganon.
Yeah.
So yung mga traditional retail practices na a-adopt na talaga sa SMB.
Yeah. That's really cool insight. I think the other jargony term is software as a service, I guess, SaaS company. But you're right. You get to provide. You have added expertise. The bigger your client base is, I mean, that comes with the scale, right? And your experience that you get to like kind of also provide guidance for your
Correct.
clients. Um, Before we get into the next question, we're actually towards the end of our interview now, and Tristan and I are learning so much, by the way. I wanted to give a shout out to user on Kumu for that halo halo. Thanks so much. That was delicious.
Ooh, sarap.
It's hard to say your handle, so I'll spell it out. IYDHXXI. I don't think
Parang
it was
anak ni
food.
Elon Musk.
I, well, I mean, they should have sent us way more than a halo halo, to be honest. But anyway, okay. Speaking of scale, na, and like, thanks for sharing those different trends. We're just curious now. We ask this for all of our tech guests, and I know it's kind of a standard question, and I know you're somewhat used to answering this, but we did want to ask, how does a company like you scale? No, so you don't necessarily need to tell us what your future plans are. I'm sure those are confidential, but tell us how a an e-commerce platform like yourselves. What are the avenues that you can go from here? What have you seen other companies like yourselves, maybe in different markets, take this to the next level?
Yeah. So internally, the other reason actually like, why we partnered with Shopify is that because Shopify has a app, a marketplace for apps. So think of it like Google Play Store or Apple
Yeah.
Store, with all the applications available there. So
Sorry, what's
Shopify
it
has
called? I'm
that.
curious if I heard about this one.
What is
What's their app
like
store called?
the Shopify App Store. That's just
Oh, it's
it.
just called that. Okay, never mind. Because I know
Yeah, yeah,
Shopify
yeah.
has their different products. Anyway, go on. Sorry, go
Yeah,
on.
so a lot of developers from all over the world are actually listed there. So super daming apps in the Shopify App Store. Um,
So
so
you so
good
wait,
news
hold on.
is
So you mean you
that is
can sell
there.
you can also sell your app to the other markets? Is that what you're saying
Yes.
via
So
Shopify?
as long as you have a Shopify store
Cool.
and then your app is listed in their app store in their marketplace, um, then technically anyone who has a Shopify store can install your app
Wow, that's crazy. I had no
and
It's
idea
pay
about
the
that.
borderless, pal.
subscription.
It's a borderless
It's
world now.
it's the
Is that the
metaverse.
term
This is the
board?
metaverse.
Oh no, the
It's-
metaverse is
yeah, no,
about.
no. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's a different thing. All right, go on. Go on. Sorry. Tell us more. Tell
But
us more.
yeah, so technically, since it's a software, anyone who has there who can see us in the Shopify Marketplace or Shopify App Store can just install us. We're there when you check. I know. What's our name? Ay, shoot, this is bad. So it's the
Because
iba
it's
kasi yung
probably it's a
name kasi
different name
hindi pwede
now.
yung ZAP E-Store. Oo.
It's a
So
different
we
name
are
now.
the Restaurant Alert and Deliverer.
Ooh,
Restaurant Alert but deliver.
AKA
Yeah. So when you
Zap.
AKA ZAP. Yeah.
In
So when you
acronym
have a
form now.
oh my. So when you have a Shopify store, alam ko, we did the research. So a lot of Filipino companies actually have a Shopify store.
Yeah.
Just go to the app and then the marketplace and then search for us there.
Ooh, that's a really Tristan. That's a really unique answer. I haven't heard that one. So, awesome.
Oh nga. I mean, I didn't know na Shopify had their own like marketplace inside of it. Anyway, so Angelique, maybe we can talk about like Zap's future. So what's next for you? So maybe you can give us like, you don't have to go into specifics, but like maybe just like if you have any new things upcoming,
Mm-hmm.
baka you'd like to
Yeah,
share
so
them.
yun then. So coming out of from that previous question, so we're really looking at this like pandemic as a long term thing. Like the virus is not going away. Like pre-pandemic ways are not gonna be it's not gonna be back to normal, diba? Anytime soon. So we're investing. Well, we're happy that we invested in this partnership with Shopify. So we're continuously developing more features so that locally the app performs better.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
it's in we have kasi a separate Android app naman. So it's in the Google Play Store. That is linked to that sobrang daming applications, guys. But then basically the
Cool.
Android application is the in-store merchant restaurant app that gets the orders when an order is placed online. So we're continuously developing din that. That naman is connected to third-party couriers. So that's why I said we actually work with Grab and we actually work with
Yeah.
Gorzo, formerly Mr. Stevie, as fulfillment
Mm.
partners. So we're looking for more ways to improve that. Para it's easier for a restaurant to fulfill orders with just one click. Diba? So
Yeah.
think na as a merchant, I get an order placed online in my app here, and then all I have to do is prepare the food and then click, and then Grab courier comes to pick up the order and then gets delivered. Diba? So saves the hassle for your customer to book their own. Sobrang hassle na hate ko yan.
Yeah.
Anyway, another upcoming feature, actually yun, and then but having said na parang we're in this pandemic, medyo matagal pa, we're also preparing na bumalik the in-store activities, no, the dining in activities.
Mhm.
Kasi that's where we started naman, di ba? We started in physical store activities. So in that sense, we're actually prepared for online to offline and offline to online interaction. So it's a whole cycle for us. So order online and then use our app, and then the restaurant or the merchant can actually track or check up if you've ordered again. If not, the our software also encourages the end user to come back. They get
Mm-hmm.
messages within na parang, hey, Sawi, you haven't ordered from us since a week ago. Maybe you'd like to try our new special. So come back
Mm-hmm.
in our website, or if you have a physical store, come visit us here at our new branch and get like a free dessert. Ganon. So
Nice.
there,
Yeah.
it's a whole cycle
It's
that
circling back.
we're
It goes
excited
full
about.
circle.
Yeah,
It
tie
goes
Yeah,
full
back siya sa
circle.
yeah,
initial
Pandemic.
service niyo, yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's super cool. It looks like there's
yeah.
plenty of applications, like both, in terms of app and just the general sense of the word. What I got from this, Tristan, is, it's a big blue ocean out there. No? It's like we think of these tech companies as like competing, but in many ways they're uplifting each other. But
Yeah,
amazing.
ang
Yeah.
daming pain points that you can service eh. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like everyone just tries to fill their little niche, no? But anyway, we are running out of time, even though this conversation has been very
Talaga.
informative and quite fun. Yeah, it's when you're
It's
having
been 50
fun.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Grabe, no? Kala
we
ko mabilis lang. Alright.
Oo nga. But we did want to ask you before that, any last bits of advice you had for aspiring tech and e-commerce founders like yourself?
Yeah, mga youngins
Um,
looking for advice.
Yeah.
actually, it's nothing new really. So, um, just be guided by your answer to the big question, like why are you doing this? Diba? Like
Mm,
what are you passionate about? So I think that has been our guidance ever since 2013 when we started this. So, syempre, a lot of downs, diba? A lot of times where we wanted to give up or change direction, but then it has always been like, what can we do to help out these merchants? It's always like that ganon, like what can you do to help them sell, saan ba, offline or online, ganon. So I guess just remember your whys, and then you'll be great. And then look for mentors. It's important then. So you just keep on learning. So and then wala namang wrong. Like for me personally, I mean, like there's no right or wrong thing really in life. You just live with your decision and then you make the most out of your decision.
Ooh, I like
Diba?
that.
Nice.
Nice.
Start with
3 points.
why and then connect the dots after.
Those
Grabe, TED Talk.
three.
Welcome to my TED Talk.
Yeah.
Medyo.
Oh, nga, no. Steph Curry,
We're
no, 3 points
rebranding.
there. Yeah. Speaking of Curry, man, I'm really hungry now. No, anyway, uh, speaking of basketball, no,
We
but
have a
thank you
merchant
so
called
much.
Harry Curry. Sorry, plugging, Nice to meet
Yeah,
you.
I saw Harry Curry. I see
Yeah,
that. I've been
wow.
meaning to. Ano rin sila
There
eh.
you
May mga
go.
Sarap.
platter rin sila kasi I love Curry.
Hit
Anyway,
me up
Ako
when
rin,
I
I love
digress.
curry. Oo.
if you guys have the promos, hit me up. Nah, I'll check it out anyway. Love me some curry. But anyway, you know what? That is close to our time. We're not gonna let you go just yet, Angelique. We're gonna wrap things up as we always do with our play of the week.
For
We
the
talked a
weekend.
lot about work. Now it's time to talk about play. Is that? Can you see your form, Tristan? See that form?
Sorry. I won't repeat it na
Oh,
kasi
it's only a
obviously I'm not
one time
obviously I'm
thing.
not a
Oh, I
baller.
saw it in like my periphery. I was like, I wonder if that shot
Rewind
went
mo na
in.
lang.
Anyway, but Angelique, we're each gonna answer this. Any fun activities or recommendations for our listeners to unwind from the busyness of business? What you got?
So, I super love watching like the movies na holiday theme. You know those corny Christmas
Oh my
movies.
gosh,
Yeah.
it's that time
I
of the
Hallmark.
super love the Hallmark.
uh,
Yeah, so I've been
lifestyle
doing that.
channel. I'll
Lifestyle
go.
travel, yeah. And then that one. So like really, really bad acting, really bad script, really bad production, but it's so good.
Nice. Can we name some?
That's
Can you
my
name some,
indulgence.
please? Because I want to get actual recs,
Um,
recos.
Actually, there's the one in Netflix now, but it's not that B movie because it has Brooke Shields in it, like the one with the
Oh,
I
mansion.
heard about this.
what's it
Yeah,
called?
it's fun. Let me check. But then there's one in Netflix also, like Princess Switch 3 with Vanessa.
Ayan, it's every
But
year,
Yeah.
na. It's a
yeah, it's
Vanessa.
really
Scripted
so
sila.
bad. It's so bad. But then,
A Castle
But they
for
know
Christmas. There
their
we go.
they
Brooke
know their
Shields.
genre. They know their market. They know. Yeah,
yeah. But
just
the one in Hallmark Channel, I think it was named like Cinderella Christmas, something like that.
oh my gosh.
It's
I
really
feel like
bad.
there's
It's
been like
so good.
10 of those or something. That sounds so familiar.
yeah.
They
That's
actually
Okay.
one of those.
Netflix
How
is
about you?
Netflix is trying to penetrate that market like every
Yun
Christmas.
nga eh.
I remember watching last
Uh,
year, the Christmas date or something. Basta parang
Wait,
for
that
holidays.
no, I was thinking of a different one. Yeah,
sobrang
yeah, yeah, yeah.
fun.
Wait,
Yeah, they're fun naman.
wait.
Yup.
Technically speaking, diba you was originally like within that
It
market,
was not,
Tristan, tama ba?
yeah, it was Lifetime
Or
Network ba siya? I think it
lifetime,
was in the life.
lifetime.
Yeah.
Correct, correct. Yeah. Because lifetime turns out in the States, lifetime is the big is one of the big ones. But anyway, Tristan, what's your play of the week?
Me, I'm gonna go a bit auteur this week. Kasi
Ooh,
I've I was
Q
we
cinema.
talked about this partly Q cinema. So I caught the QC shorts kasi again for context I was
Okay.
part of the Q cinema selection committee. So when
Q Cinema
when
Film
I watched the
Festival.
films, when I watched the films, they were in their offline what do you call it, offline edit. So it
Okay,
didn't
well
have the
that's
final
too
effects,
technical. They were
etc. Yeah,
unfinished. Work
yeah,
in progress.
unfinished. Yeah,
Yeah.
there were WIPs. Yeah, so anyway, I got to see the final works, and it's like I really liked how I was part of the committee that read the scripts and said, okay, these are the good ones. These
Yeah.
are the ones that really fit the Q Cinema branding. So actually seeing them in their final forms, it's kind of um one and fulfilling. Tas ang ganda rin na I think this batch they're all pretty solid in their own way. So
What
like
are the
one
titles you'd recommend, Tristan?
so actually all kasi if you though unfortunately I think tapos na yung
I
viewing
was gonna
period
ask
for the
where.
QC shorts. Yeah,
Sayang.
it's on KTX. It's on KTX.com, but I don't know if you're gonna be rescreening them. So they're
On
basically six
KTX.
films. Yeah, six films,
Oh,
but you just purchase one. It's like QC shorts,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then once
Okay.
you purchase them, you get to watch all six films na. Anyway, in case you miss the QC shorts, you can also catch the Asian shorts naman. So there's also that's naman a mix
Awesome.
of different films from Southeast Asia. So that's still
Yeah.
up until the sixth yata or the fifth. But yeah,
KTX.ph, correct?
yeah, and look for Hugh Cinema. So those are pretty solid picks. Kahit
Nice.
andun, like
I
you
like
can
that.
just
Sige.
select.
So I'm probably gonna catch a Q Cinema film after this. I'll see what's available on KTX. But yeah,
Me
Tristan
too.
and I were at opening night together. That was fun. But yeah,
Yeah.
I
Wow.
the
Like
festival's about.
physically?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
were
we
Oh.
with
so
protocols and all that.
distance, yeah,
But
wax cards, etc.
yeah, Tristan, it was tough not being able to fist bump you. But anyway, no, yeah, I mean the festival's about to end, so I'm trying to catch a few more titles. Anyway, for my play of the week, I was definitely thinking of continuing the movie streak as well, but I'm gonna combo breaker this one. I'm gonna go with the books because as of this week, I think we launched Rappler Reads. So it is Rappler
Woo!
Reads.
Yeah,
It's a new series of
column, yeah,
articles really on Rappler. It's like a book club, correct, Tristan? Where
parang
we're
Oprah.
part of the team. Actually, we get to share our book recommendations. We were putting out listicles, especially during the holidays. So I'm in the middle of like working on mine, but I do have for the very few people who know this, I did have a short career in children's publishing, so I did want to do a listicle on
Shout out mo naman. Shout out the book that you wrote,
shout out to Jamie's best friend. You
best
can
friend.
order that from me on Instagram if you want. At Pawi Fiction, Pawi Fiction. But anyway, a few titles here. I got them right here. But we want to promote Filipino children's book authors and illustrators. This really cute. This was by a friend of mine, Patricia. That's it, Pansit. What I like about Filipino children's books is they tend to be bilingual, so that's cool. They'll have a text block in English and a text block in Filipino. This one is trilingual, so it's about growing up Filipino Chinese in the Philippines.
Napa-practice ba
Also,
Filipino mo, Pabi?
can I don't know even if I can pronounce these. Angelique, do you know how to pronounce these? But anyway, yun. When Lola visits, this one's Phil Am naman. But anyway, it's an easy listicle for me to write because these are like straight up like 30 pages each or whatever. But I do love children's picture books. Please support your local writers this holiday and check out Rappler Reads. Okay.
Way easier ba
Anyway,
than Crime and Punishment, Pabi? It's a way easier read.
illustrated. Oh my
Picture
gosh.
book.
Uh
No,
these are
crime
these
and
are so
punishment.
pretty. This one I'm just gonna give one page, but then our podcast listeners won't be able to hear it. But this one is published by
Tunay.
HarperCollins, by the way, in the States. So this is a Philippine. It's called When My Lola Visits, but it's like published by HarperCollins, which is super cool. They're doing a lot
Nice gifting
more.
idea this Christmas.
Yeah, we'll be
Ayan.
linking the
Yay!
story
You can
once it
get
comes out.
these. Well, anyway, yeah, we'll link this. But okay, that's all the time we have for now. Before we let you go, Angelique, can you remind our audience how they can check out Zap?
All right. So you can check out our socials at Powered by Zap. And then you can check out our website, zapestore.com or www.zap.com.ph.
Fantastic.
So
You
Nice.
can
see you
also
guys
follow your
there. I hope
host.
to hear from you.
Yes.
Follow what?
Uh, I'm on Instagram at Pawi Fiction.
Mm.
Tristan.
I'm at Tristan Zinamban across all platforms, including
Thank you.
LinkedIn Live.
Including like, well,
Wanna
just
hire me?
LinkedIn
Red joke.
already.
Joke.
Um, but anyway, thanks Angelique so much for joining us. We really learned a lot. Woo. Wanted
Thank
to
you
thank
guys.
Wanted to also thank Raptors production team. Thanks Marga and Naoki in the background. Salute. our community team, Ia, and our creative team. Thank you, especially out there, if you're watching or listening. If you haven't already, please follow Rappler on all platforms. You can catch us on Kumu by following Rappler.com, and you can follow the Hustle Inside the Industry podcast on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. We hope that we're on your top 5 or 4, by the way, if you're Spotify rep.
Spotify rap.
Any,
Oh
we
nga, no,
bring
we
you a
didn't
new
mention that
episode. Yeah,
please
next
do it.
time. Next
Walang
time.
nag-Spotify rap. Anyway, yeah. Go ahead,
We'll
Pam.
revisit this next time. We bring you a new episode every Monday so you can start your week with a little motivation. Bye bye.
Thanks,
Thanks.
guys. Bye. Good
Bye.
night.
Good
Thank
night.
you.